up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll probably notice that I'm in a different garage. That's because I moved, and yeah, this is the new garage. I also have a new project.
This is my village, this is my town, this is my city, this is how it goes down. This is my village, this is my town, this is my city, this is how it goes down. This is my village, this is my town, this is my city, this is how it goes down. This is my village, this is my town, this is my city, this is how it goes down. This is my village, this is my town, this is my city, this is how it goes down. This is my village, this is my town, this is my city, this is how it goes down.
I got a little go-kart here. American Cruiser Fox. I got this given to me. Haven't tried to get it to run yet. The tires are all smoked. This one's real bad. It's got a 5-horse motor on it. Robin. I picked these tires up on eBay. 80 bucks for all four, so not a bad deal. They are 145/76s Sun F. Before I even mess around with the motor, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these wheels off. Alright, I've done a couple of these, struggled with them quite a bit, but what I've found best is take your valve stem insert out. Now I'm going to set this tire on the ground and go around the wheel, smacking it with the hammer. Try not to hit the rim. I'm going to try and spray some WD-40 around the edge of this wheel. Maybe it'll seep down in there. There you go. Now you busted that one loose. Flip it over, do the same thing. There. Now we got both sides. I'm going to use the vise. Put my screwdriver in here. Tighten that up good. Slide my wheel over. And then I'm going to put some vice grips on the bottom of the wheel. That way the wheel can't spin. stick my bar in there and then rotate this. Now you got that side popped up. Do the same thing with the bottom. Let's try this. Alright, got that one out. Whew, I'd be lying if I said this wasn't a struggle. Got the old tire off, now try and get the new one on. It's pretty windy outside, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear me out there, but I got the tires sitting out in the sun, trying to soften up a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and spray some WD-40 on this. Try to press it down as far as I can. Alright, well, I didn't get any video of getting the tires mounted. It was fighting me. I had to use a ratchet strap and go around the tire to get the tire to pop on the bead. But we got them all mounted up. I aired them all up to 28 psi, which is the max that you're supposed to air them up to get the beads to seat. Right here, we're supposed to air down to 7 psi. I also wanted to leave them at 28 to see if they would hold air. And all of them look like they're still aired up. I was a little worried because I didn't replace any of the valve stems. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull these wheels back off and just put a thin layer of axle grease. Put a thin layer of axle grease up here. They got bearings in them. The bearings are pretty well cooked. They don't spin very good at all, but that's another project for another day. I want to put a little bit of grease on these, and that'll keep it from rusting to the inside of the bearing. And then there's a sleeve that goes in between this bearing and the one on the back side, but that'll keep that from rusting, so it'll be easy to pop off later on. And then I think I'm going to move on to the engine. Motor has compression, not a lot, but it's 5 horsepower, so I don't know how much compression it's supposed to have. I think I can definitely get it running, but I don't know how long this thing's been sitting, so I'm gonna pop the carburetor off and go ahead and clean that up, just see how it looks. Probably drain the oil, put new oil in it, and probably a fresh spark plug. Check the air filter. I actually already had this cover off looking at it, and it's got one of those little foam filters, and it's pretty much to the point where if you touch it, it starts to disintegrate. So I think for the initial first start, we're just gonna run no air filter. Should be fine. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I like Loctite. This is the blue stuff, medium strength. I like to put it on these. I like to put it on these bikes and go-karts because you get a lot of vibration. You don't want bolts backing out, so I put a little bit of Loctite on pretty much every bolt that I tighten it. I think the plan here is I'm going to pull it apart, and after I got it apart, try to clean up some of these pieces with some soap and water. You don't want to get carb cleaner on these O-rings. It dries them out and stretches them, and then they don't seal right. So we're going to avoid that. I think you just pop this off and then the bowl comes off. Yep, and look, we got a broken O-ring already. But it looks a lot cleaner in here than I thought it would be. There's the inside of the bowl. Actually, it looks really good. I think that's a jet right there. Right there, I think, is one, and then there should be one down in there. So I'm going to grab a tiny straight screwdriver and see if I can get those out. It's not clogged, but we'll clean it up anyways. That one surprisingly looks pretty good too. I don't know how much more of this I actually want to take apart. I just basically wanted to clean them jets out. Alright guys, we're back out here in the garage working on the go-kart again today. And plans have changed a little bit. Carburetor's still missing off the engine. And sitting over here on the bench. I wanted to get this motor running and take it out, get some top speed runs. The goal was always to go get a Predator engine from Harbor Freight, throw that on, and then see how much faster it was. But I'm having some issues with this carburetor here. The bowl gasket's broke, so I went and tried to get a new one from like Ace Hardware and couldn't find anything that would work. So I tried buying some O-rings, a couple different ones. And I was thinking maybe I could just stretch it and get that on. But the way it sits down in that groove, it's kind of a pain in the ass to try and get that to stretch and sit down in that groove without wanting to squeeze up again. And then I also noticed when I was pulling it off that the carburetor was missing a part. Something goes right there. It's like a little bowl or something. But anyways, I tried looking this carburetor up online and I couldn't find anything for it. I could buy a whole new Chinese carburetor that I could just rob the parts off of to probably fix this one. And I might end up doing that eventually, but for right now we're just going to scrap this project and move on to the Predator engine. This was like, I think it was like $165 or something like that. $190 out the door with tax and everything. So we're just going to slap this thing on and be done with it for now. Alright, just like that, the motor's out, and I think now is a great time to test out this pressure washer I bought last fall. I bought this, Sam's Club had a deal going on, and 150 bucks. So let's tear it out of the box, get it set up, and then we'll try it out on this go-kart. Alright, we got it all washed up. I didn't go crazy or anything, just rinsed it off. I did use some soap back here where the motor mount is, just because I didn't want to be working in the grease. So we got that all cleaned up. looking pretty good. I'm gonna leave it out here in the sun for a little bit and let it dry. And while I'm doing that, we can go check out these engines. Here's everything it came with. You got the motor, the owner's manual. It looks like they sent a couple different jets, some O-rings. They even sent a funnel and spark plug tool. One of the first things I wanted to check is I want to see if this is the same size. I believe it should be. Got the keyway in the sprocket there, the hub. So we need to take this keyway out. Alright, got that keyway out. Now let's see. This should just slide right on. Yep. Side by side, they seem to be about the same size. This one will be a little bit taller because I gotta take this bracket off of there and put it underneath that one. But all in all, I think pretty similar. I'll have to loosen these 3 screws and clock that back a little bit so it faces the same way as that, which that's not a big deal at all. Gotta take that nut off, and then I got 2 screws right there. Alright, well this thing's disgusting, so I'm gonna go clean it up before we put it on the new motor. It's got some bearings in here. I went to clean the sprocket and holy crap, that thing is no good. Hardly any teeth left on that smaller inner sprocket right there. Outside looks fine, so I don't know. I think I'm just gonna skip that for now because we can just put that on later. I think I'm gonna just continue moving on and then I'll have to find out where I'm gonna get one of these. I'm probably gonna have to order this from like a go-kart website or something, but for now let's just continue on. I want to at least get the motor mounted in the go-kart today and then hopefully fire it up and listen to it run. Another thing you got to do with these motors, I've read, is disconnect the oil pressure sensor. So that's this wire right here going into that sensor. Just disconnect it. That way when you're hitting bumps or taking a turn real hard, the oil doesn't slosh to one side and shut the motor off. I put the bolts through, started the nuts, but left them loose because I'm obviously going to have to slide the motor either front or back to get the chain tension right. Let's go ahead and start it up first. Just let it run for a little bit. I have an idea about the oil pressure shutoff that we unhooked. I'm going to see if I can hook this switch up to it, and then you'll just be able to shut the motor off right there from the steering wheel. I think it should work. I got the wire that comes from the switch up there on the steering wheel plugged in right there, and just as I thought, running. Perfect. I think the next thing I'll tackle real fast is I got a lever here for the seat to slide front and back, but it's seized up, so I'm going to jack it up and spray the tracks with some I don't know, WD-40 or PB Blaster or something, and see if I can get the seat to slide forward. If I can do that, that'll make working on it back there a lot easier. see, guys, we got parts in for the go-kart. I ended up going with a torque converter setup, so it's going to be a belt drive, no more chain. Obviously you got your chain that's going to run your axle, but this is going to be belt driven, and I just went with this. This is supposed to make, you know, better off the line power, and I got this whole kit. It was around 130 bucks, something like that. But the install looks fairly simple, so we'll go ahead and start putting this on. They send you two different size sprockets depending on what chain your axle drive is. So I know for a fact I got to change that out. That sprocket is right behind this pulley here, and this nut is loose, so you just got to pop that off, pull this off, change this out. Real simple. It's got a keyway that you just line up. That's pretty much it. Put this back on, lining up your keyway. And we got that installed, ready to go. Once I get this mounted up to the go-kart, I will go ahead and put my impact on this nut and go ahead and tighten it up. But yeah, let's move over to the go-kart. Came back here, slid this in to try to line it up, and this piece right here that the motor is sitting on is in the way, so I think I got to take that off. But I think they make a 1-inch spacer that you're supposed to buy to raise the motor up, and I didn't buy it because I didn't know what it was. So it's just some square 1x1 tubing with a hole drilled in it that goes in between your motor and the frame here. So I don't know if I have to run that or not. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the motor back off, slide this out of the way, and then I will try to put it on there and see if I have enough room. My guess is this back pulley right here is going to be hitting somewhere back there. So I don't know. I'm gonna pull the motor off and see if we actually need the spacers or not. Damn. Got super windy out. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with anything rubbing. I don't think I'll have to space the motor out, but if you look in there, you can see the sprocket up on top, if it'll focus, right there, and then you can see it down there. So we're a good ways off. I would say that it's probably about in line with the back of that pulley, if you're looking directly at it. So I'm going to take that measurement from the pulley to the sprocket up top, see what the distance is, and then we'll have to see if we can space that sprocket out. I think I'm going to try and take this brake assembly off, and then it looks like I could probably back that nut off a little bit or drill a hole in this little plastic cover here. But take that brake assembly off, and then I will, it looks like the sprocket mounts straight to the brake drum. So I think I will be able to take that off, make that spacer in there wider, and just space everything out a little bit to get that to line up. I gotta go ahead and try and get that nut off right there. This plastic piece is in the way, so I'm gonna come in from this side over here and just drill a hole. That way I can get my socket on there with the impact and just back it off that way, and then this whole shaft should slide out. Oh my gosh. Working on the go-kart again today. I got some more parts from gopowersports.com. We got the sprocket and brake drum, one piece. So we got that new sprocket. You can tell how wore out those teeth are. Here's the old chain that wasn't long enough. It's always a good idea if you're changing your sprockets to change your chain anyways. At the same time, that way they wear together. I got a chain brake tool because I didn't have one. Master links, I got 3 or 4, I can't remember. I think there's 3 in there. But we got those. We got the chain here. And that's it. Went over to my friend Chris's house, made a longer spacer. It had 3 from the factory, and I needed it to be about 5/8 of an inch longer. So we just made 1 spacer. And then also here's a spacer that goes for the, it spaces out the brake down here. You got your bolt down here underneath, and then that little spacer goes behind there. It goes right there. So I need to space that out as well. I'm good. What are you doing? All right, I'm gonna put this front pulley on. You got to put this big spacer on first, followed by this little spacer. You're gonna take your other pulley, put the back pulley on first. Then you're gonna take your belt, put your belt on. I guess there's a flat side and then this side that's kind of beveled. You see that? You want the flat side towards this back space, that little backing plate. Then you're going to take the long bolt that they gave you Put your lock washer on, your flat washer, and then this thing here. Take your other pulley. Make sure you got it the right way. That's got to be on the inside. Get your bolt started. And then line the keyway up with that washer. The front and the back pulley, the back side should be lined up, which those look good. The chain, I still have the motor loose, but the chain lines up. Hey, do you want to try and go for a ride on this?
I guess one time.
One time?
Yeah. And no more times because it's almost dark.
Yeah, it is almost dark, huh?
One time.
I just gotta tighten 2 more motor mounts. Go get some shoes on. I haven't hooked up an extra spring back here yet to help the throttle go all the way back to neutral, but it should be fine. Let's turn the fuel on. Oh, switch is off. Gonna bring your baby? Here. Harley, is this fun? One more time? Hold on, let's pull it in the garage and check everything over. What do you think of that, Carly? You like that go-kart? You like the go-kart? Yeah? Did your baby like the ride? Yeah? If you made it this far into the video, thanks a lot for watching. And I just wanted to go over a few last things that I did. I did get that extra spring installed. I adjusted the throttle cable a little bit. And then also took some of the slack out of it up here. And it made a huge difference. It's way faster. So this is pretty well done. I got a flag to put on. It's over there. I got a flag to put on, and then this thing's pretty well complete. If you guys like watching the go-kart video, subscribe, and I got a full build I'm doing with this. There's a ton of parts on the bench. I got a new motor, new plastics, new everything for this. So I'm gonna try and get this one done before September. Well, before the end of September. I have a car show racing event that I'm gonna go to, ice cream cruise. And I wanna enter this into the car show. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna throw my Insta360 camera on the go-kart and we'll take it out, get some shots, and get a top speed.
Remember, slow down before you get